First things first, man. I mean, let's just get right into it. Once you got the call that you have this fight booked on June 8th, what was your reaction? How pumped are you to get back in there, and how fired up are you?
Ready, feel ready, mate. I think it's kind of been the longest I've been inactive. To be fair, it's coming on nearly 6 months on fight day. How long since I've fought? To be fair, so I've just been eager. I've been trying to get fights in March and stuff like that, and even April. There was talks of me fighting in April, but the right date come along for me in PFL Europe to fight June 8th now. So that's my quest now, and I'm waiting to get to that dance and have a fight.
And do you feel like this extended time off was almost kind of a blessing in disguise in terms of giving yourself time to develop, work on some things in and out of the cage? How have you kind of handled, kind of this long break from fighting?
100%. Don't get me wrong, it's hard. Yeah, it was hard for me to have that time off because I'm a fighter at heart as well, not just like physically. Do you know what I mean? Inside me, I've got that fight in me, and I've always wanted to fight. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I need things to work on. I need that development, and we're at the big leagues now, and I'm still young, and I need to take my time, easy going and stuff like that. I was out of my comfort zone training in Thailand. I was conquering a few demons I needed to do, and I feel like I'm very, very ready now. I'm ready to have a fight.
Absolutely, man. I want to ask you about Thailand because I saw you spent quite a bit of time over in Thailand training for this fight and developing your skills. Obviously, we've seen a lot of MMA fighters from pretty much all over the world going to Thailand right now in terms of in between camps and even for their main fighting camps. What was your experience and what was that whole time like for you?
You know what? It was a sick experience, And I feel like obviously everyone learns a few bits here and there in Thailand and stuff like that, but I feel like it was just the bodies that was there. Like it's just so many guys from all corners of the world. You're training with guys with like a following, good organizations, good records, and you're training with a guy you've never heard of. You've never heard of. He's probably from Kazakhstan. He probably has like 30 followers on Instagram, and he's a savage. But as well as that, I'm learning. I'm seeing my level. I'm seeing how good I am for my age, and it was a good experience, mate. It was more of a reassuring thing for me. Do you know what I mean? Because after my last fight and stuff like that, yeah, you're having that overthinking. Because I'm a bit of an overthinker. I'm a good deep thinker, and I feel like it was very reassuring for me to know that where I'm heading. If you know what I mean.
What was kind of the decision to go to train in Thailand? Was it kind of just to get some more looks and get more experience, or was it kind of just you needed a change to really boost your confidence and all that? What was kind of the decision to do that?
Well, to be fair, where I'm from, England, Manchester, it's always raining. It's the weather's not great over here. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to change the scenery to a little bit as well. And as plus, when you are always in the same four walls in the gym, it can get to you a little bit. So I was like, I didn't feel great because I lost. I didn't feel I was just in the same rut a little bit of doing. It's not a bad rut. Nothing bad coming from it. I just wanted a different change of scenery and a different look. And I know there's all great fighters out there, and I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I've never been to Thailand before. It was my first time going. I absolutely just dropped everything, left everyone behind, and just set sail to the east. Do you know what I mean? And just it was a great experience for me. It was just something I need to go. Like you're not a fighter if you're not gone to Thailand before. You need to go to Thailand at least once in your life, and I felt like it was the right time for me. There was nothing like coming up for me. There was no. It was the perfect time. Do you know what I mean?
And I want to get your thoughts too, because obviously we've seen a lot of fighters here come and go in the sport over the years, and we've seen a lot of fighters handle their first losses one way and handling one other way too. Like in terms of how you process that first setback in your career. It feels like in a lot of ways you've really handled this really well in terms of you mentioned this whole change in Thailand and all that. Kind of take me through that process of handling your first loss, and obviously it's got to be a huge motivator to get back in there.
Don't get me wrong, it was horrible. It was horrible, especially losing to that guy because I don't like him. Do you know what I mean? If I see him on the street right now, I'll have a straightening with him. That's how deep, that's how personal it is. But you need to drop that side to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, end of the day, yeah. I always knew obviously, I always knew, but I always know it's a possibility I could lose. I'm young in the game. I'm not gonna go. It's very, 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 very rare you're gonna go through this game undefeated, and especially at the start of my career, end of the day, I look at it this way: it won't matter in a few years that I lost to that guy. It doesn't matter. I always felt like I can beat him. there was just a few little minor things he didn't do. Do you know what I mean? What I needed to work on. I have a million excuses why I lost, but no one cares. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what's already happened has happened. So end of the day is brush that apart, ignore that part, get back on the IR to get working hard. At the end of the day, and that's all I can do. There's no point making excuses who what where or who what and where. End of the day, it's what's happened. So what else can I do? So back to the IRs, work hard, make the adjustments, work on, and then I'm here now and I'm ready to get back to the journey.
As a fighter, kind of take us through the differences of facing somebody you don't like versus somebody you may like or feel, kind of in the middle
Yeah.
about. Like, what are some of the differences in that, if any?
Well, I look at it this way, yeah. There's no friends in this game, like of fighting. Like when you're having a fight, I'm not friends with the guy I'm fighting.
Right.
So like, especially on fight day, I'm a bit of a psychopath like that. Like, I think of like, not I think of like hurting him really bad. I mean that genuinely. But like when it comes to a point where we're back and forth, we're arguing stuff like that, it got a bit heated on the weigh-ins and stuff like that, and like the press conference and stuff. I generally don't like this guy, but you're trying to find that balance where don't get too emotional, and as well at the same time do the business. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're fighting too emotional, it can get to you. If you're fighting less emotion, it can get to you. You got to find that fine balance of fighting. End of the day, but it's just a little. It's just probably more. I hate that guy more than the average person I'm fighting against. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
And are you kind of taking that experience in terms of this upcoming fight with Matiss Zaharovs? Are you kind of taking elements of that whole experience with Maya into this potential, bad blood with Zaharovs? Like, what are some of the comparisons you can make in terms of those two experiences?
You know what? They're setting it out as like bad blood,
Mm.
but I don't. He doesn't see it as bad blood. I don't think he just wants an opportunity to fight. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's seen me, yeah, because we were gonna fight before I ever fought Wesley Meyer, and he pulled out. I think he wanted more money or whatever. Loads of politics behind the side, and because he's seen me lose, he's like, oh, I could have fought him. I could have fought him. I could have beat him. So now he's barking because he sees me at my lowest and trying to take advantage of that. He's just trying to pick his food well, but he's picked the wrong food, mate. He's gonna have food poisoning. You know what I mean? I just think this. I think it is with him. Yeah, he's what he did. He DM'd me. He gave me a message on Instagram saying, "Accept the fight, you ginger cunt." That's what he said to me, and I was like, I just said to him, "Say no more." But this time, don't pull out the fight, yeah. And he's like, "I'm not gonna pull out the fight." Then I feel like he was just trying to get my reaction to accept the fight, but I'm happy with bad blood. I'm used to that. Do you know what I mean?
And how do you feel like PFL Europe, just in general, has been received in the UK and just over the region as well, right? Because obviously, you look at the UFC and you look at other promotions that travel around the world, and maybe they travel to Europe once every like 6-7 months, right? But here with PFL Europe, you have fights like once every like month or 2 months or so. So how has kind of the reception been of PFL Europe, and what has your experience been like?
It's sick, because MMA is growing so fast, especially over here in this side of the pond. End of the day, like if you see the events in France, in Paris, crazy audience, and even in UK, I just feel like it's the right who's the fighter to have on the bill in UK cards. I feel like I blown the roof off last time in Newcastle. I'm not even from Newcastle. I'm from the northwest of England. I'm from Manchester, and I feel like I've kind of got a bit like that kind of like that it factor a little bit, or that popularity stage. People like I'm just a young lad from a council estate. I'm just a young lad from this estate of England. At the end of the day, and people like to see that, and I feel like the support we get behind our guys over here, it does mean a lot. Do you know what I mean? And even when they went to Dublin, they have guys over there from Irish fighters, etc. They've all got their own like little hero. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like European MMA in a whole is just it's expanding massively. If they keep getting these guys and building them up, and it's the sky's the limit. Do you know what I mean? If you see Cedric Doombar and what he's doing, he's got a massive crowd. He's selling out stadiums pretty much. You know what I mean?
It's wild, right? And I gotta ask you too, like, where did your passion for fighting come from? Because I mean, we've only been talking for a little less than 10 minutes, and I can just sense your passion for fighting. That you really love what you do, and a lot of people, not even just in fighting, but just in general, they don't have that opportunity to really pursue and do what they love. So where did that kind of passion for fighting come from?
I think it's just in me, I guess. Like, I'm I've always been fighting before I even was in a cage. You know what I mean? I've been a fighter since day. Do you know what I mean? I was that short red-headed kid, man. I had to learn to fight, do sink or swim. So I've always been a fighter. I've always been a feisty kid. Do you know what I mean? And once I got a nick of that, and I tasted that, blood and stuff like that. It just, this is what I want to do. I enjoy what I do. I love fighting. I love hurting people. I love fighting. I love getting hurt. I love the blood. I love it all, man. I love that chaos. Some people thrive in the chaos. Some people don't. And I feel like I go towards it in a way. So I feel like it's always been in me, like I just love fighting. And for some people, there's different types of people in this world, like in MMA. There's martial artists, there's athletes, and there's fighters. And I feel like I'm a fighter, and I feel like I'm willing to get down there and have a fight. Some people rather have a hug and sniff balls. That's on them, and that's how they want to fight. But I wanna sit there and have a knock me. I wanna punch someone's soul out of him.
I want to get your perspective too, as somebody that's had as many fights as you had in MMA. Savannah Marshall is getting ready to make her pro MMA debut, right, at the PFL Europe card. What are your thoughts on that, and what advice would you give to her in terms of as she makes this transition from boxing to MMA? Like, what are some of the biggest things that you feel like she should really hone in on as she gets ready to make that transition?
Well, look at it this way. She got 4 ounce gloves on with these hands, man. She only needs to land one, but she needs to, at the end of the day, yeah, all she needs to do, right, is just drill them takedown defenses, because people are just gonna try and hold on for dear life, and they aren't they? I've been accustomed to it. People don't want that smoke or don't want a fight. They want to win the match, and I feel like she needs to play that chess match where make it into a fight, and don't play the match and don't play into their game. End of the day, I'm pretty sure she's got a good camp behind her. I'm pretty sure she's probably got good training behind her, and I feel like she's gonna smash it. End of the day, long as she just shows her boxing. So that's all she needs to do. End of the day, and defend well, defend the kicks, defend the takedowns, and it's her fight.
Absolutely, man. Well, before we wrap things up here, once again, I really do appreciate the time. It's great to meet you. Great to chat with you, get to know you a little bit. I want to give you the platform to shout out your team, shout out your fan base and all that, and I'll give you the final word before we get out of here.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I just want to say thank you to Big Manchester Top Team. Always helping out my team, all my sponsors, Gold Days, Mawson sponsor for helping me out. And that's it, really. I just want to say thank you to everyone. And with me, Sean Manchester, obviously, I can't forget my hometown. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm fired up to watch you fight, and I have a feeling this will probably be the first of many sit-downs in the future. All the best these next few weeks, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon, man. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, mate. God bless. Bye.